Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to a complete Flutter app building tutorial. Here you will learn how to build an e-commerce app for food delivery, and this app would be both for iOS and Android. And this app would also come with a complete backend. And why build this app? Because you want to master Flutter framework, because you want to master Dart programming language and backend framework, and you also want to get a job. Well, after doing this course, you'll get much better or master Flutter framework and Dart programming language. If you're new to Flutter, or if you're coming from another background or another programming language, or if you are a fresh college graduate, this is the right place for you, because this would be a complete app. And if you're looking for a job, right after finishing this tutorial, you will have something heavy to write on your CV. Here we'll cover some major features. Well, first we'll learn how to show products based on category. Then you will learn how to build shopping carts, place your order, track order. After that, you'll also learn how to build user profile and pages like sign in and sign up pages. And we'll also see how to build user address location from Google Map. And you can also build zone-based order for users. And the whole app would keep track of user authentication. Some other major features will cover Firebase notification, and we'll see how to do payment and payment SDK like PayPal. And then from the backend, you'll also learn how to upload new products and see order details and update order, and as well as you'll also see user profile on the backend. Well, in tutorial part 1, we'll have 12 hours, and in 12 hours, we'll cover a lot of useful ideas. First, we'll start off by building 4 complex UI screens, and for building those screens, we will be using stack and positioned widget as well as different slivers. We'll cover sliver app bars and sliver box to adapter. And one of the complex UI would be animated page view, where we'll see how to scale up, scale down, and animate the position. And right after that, we will learn about our app architecture, which would be very useful further down the road when you are going to build a new app. And here we'll cover API client repository and controllers, and we'll also learn what are they and how to build them, and we'll see their connection with each other. And after learning this concept, we'll see how to load them in the dependencies, and we make sure that our dependencies would be loaded when our app starts. And then we'll go ahead and start working with building models, classes, with the JSON map and a list. And I know that this is a very scary concept for Flutter beginners, so here we'll take it slowly and cover things in detail step by step. And once we are equipped with these ideas, then we'll go ahead and build our first product controller, cart controller, and we'll learn how to process the related data. And throughout this first part, we'll also cover about responsive layout. So that also means that when we run our app on iOS or Android, different devices, they would look exactly the same, but at the same time they will have proportional size. So right after this tutorial part 1, you'll definitely get better at Flutter and Dart programming language. Well, in part 2, we'll have 12 hours, and by 12 hours you will finish 8 complex UI screen, and after this you'll really become a hero in Flutter front-end development. And over here you'll learn how to build complex models, classes, and working with JSON map and list. Another major feature would be working with Google Map and how to interact with Google Map and save user data. And then you'll learn how to build location, user, and auth controllers and how to process the related data. So we'll learn and we'll focus on how to pick up user location based on user tab. And then you'll learn how to keep track of user orders and show the user related notification from Firebase. And you will also learn how to set up PayPal payment using PayPal SDK, and all of them would be also covered in the backend for user management. Another major feature would be zone-based user location and service. So by the end of part 2, you will really master Dart programming language. And in tutorial part 3, we'll have 3 hours, and here we'll take care of some of the platform specific issues like notification for both Android and iOS, and we'll also see how to turn this mobile app into web app. And this is where the Flutter shines, okay? Because Flutter, once you write code in one platform, pretty much you can run it everywhere. So you just need to know how to build a responsive app. And at the end, we'll see how to publish this app in the App Store. Well, this is going to be the 7th part of this tutorial, and we'll go along with rest of the tutorial, as well as we'll try to do more parts. But in this tutorial, I want to focus on some of the UI issues and some of the earlier details that I should have taken care, which I didn't. So we'll focus on that one. Well, definitely we want to take care of this UI, and the UI actually is something I want pretty much to look like this. And this is my commercial app or commercial license, where actually things are much better. So I want things like to be a little like this UI, which is very different. So I don't like this, so I want to make it more like this, okay? As well as the top bar and a lot of other issues. So in this section, basically, I will focus on UI issues, as well as I think the map issues. A lot of you guys said that if you save the map, that doesn't work. It goes back to the very first map address. So we'll also take care of that one. So without further ado, let's get started. Now here I'm on my view order page, and this page is responsible for showing this, okay, UI. So here we want to make changes. Well, definitely the first change we want with this one. So we want to style it looking better, and we want it to look like this over here, okay, everything, okay. Anyway, so yeah, let's get started with this one. Now definitely the first thing, I don't want the text to be like this. Now here we see we have this order ID, so we have a little bit of space, and then we write the actual order, the one we get from the database. Okay, so we want to style that one. Okay, now to be able to do that, I'm going to have to remove this one, and I'm going to also put these things in a row. Actually, right now this is not in a row, so I just created empty space over here, as you can see. So this is the empty space, but I want to put this text and the order ID in a row, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get started with this. So I'll cut this one first, and then I'll do row over here. Definitely we'll go ahead with children. Now I'm going to put the text over here first, and I'm going to put another text over here. Now inside this text, I'm going to cut this and put it here, and of course we don't need this, okay. All right, and now if we do save it, we'll see it changes. Not really, okay. Now we do see that yes, we do have changes, but definitely we don't want it like this. And as you see from here, we want this slash to be right before this number, so we need to move that, right? Okay, so first thing, we don't want this slash over here, okay. And now here we want to apply, now we'll apply style over here. Now to be able to do that, you have to come to our popspec.yml file, and you have to know that here we do have this font family. It should be in your default folder, the one you have downloaded, and here we do have Roboto font family, okay. And this is also being referred from here at the top inside assets folder, and there is another folder called font, okay. All right, and okay, I'm going to close this one. Right after that, actually, you also have to come to this utils folder and create a new Dart file, styles.dart, and over here actually I have defined some ready-made text style, okay. Now as you see that this is just a class name over here, and then over here we are just calling them. So for each of them we have created a variable. So all you need to do, call the variable. Now you'll see that they are pretty similar over here. 400, so the font family is Roboto, font weight 426, 500, 700, so it just goes on like this, okay. After 700 we do have font weight 900. Everything else stays the same. And now this is font 26, which we have defined early at the very beginning of this tutorial, long ago, most probably in part 1. So yeah, so this reads like 26 font size. Okay, so you have to create a file inside this utils folder, and then you're good to go. So I'll close this one as well. Now, if I'm going to come over here, now we'll apply styles to it. So here we'll do style. Now here we'll do robot to regular. Robot to regular. So we're going to use this one. Now over here, we want to change the style a little bit, because you'll see that the font size is too big. So here we can apply font size. So here we'll change the font size, and so we do dimensions. Let's say dot font. Okay, we'll go ahead with 16, and we'll see if it looks better or not. Okay, let's say that. Well, we see 16 is still pretty big, but we want it a little smaller. Okay. Now, in that case, we need to come to this dimensions file, and right after it, actually, we can even do a new font size, and here we'll do double font, so 12, and this time we want to apply 12, and we want to get screen height, and the proportion is 73:3. Okay. So if you don't know how we get this one, go ahead and follow the first part, and I have explained it over there. Now here, instead of 16, we could do 12, and now let's see. Yes, this is pretty small, and that's what I want. Okay. Okay, so now that's fine, and now we need to take care of this one. Now for this one, what are you going to do? We are going to attach it together. Now over here, because we are going to apply a string, which is this one, and then the variable. So if you want to apply inside a text a string as well as variable, so you have to do it like this, you know it. Okay, now we'll put it like this. Okay, now it's looking better, but here actually we need to create a bit of distance. Okay, now here we'll do sized box, and so the width and dimensions that get are with, say, 10 by 2. Okay, all right, so this part's fine. Next we'll focus on this and this. Okay, now for this one, definitely the first thing is this. Instead of start, we want end. Okay, all right. Now the text itself over here, we want to apply a style to it, but of course we are using this kind of style, but now we don't want this style. So we want to use the style that just we have defined. So here this time we'll do roboto medium, this one. Okay, and then copy width, because we are going to change some of the default properties, whatever it had. And here font size, and we'll do dimensions dot font 12. Okay, so that's what we want to do. And now over here we also want to apply color to it. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the color. We'll do theme color dot off context, and then I think we can get a card color, so that's what we want to do. Okay, now it becomes smaller, and the text color has also changed, and we are happy with this. Now whatever inside is this, actually we want to change it a little bit. So for this reason, actually we are going to remove this container, so I'll remove this slash, and as well as this section over here. We don't need that. Okay, so we also don't need this child, and we should be good. Let's save it. Okay, now it becomes much smaller, but don't worry, we're going to change it. Now here, actually we'll apply padding to it, and we'll do add insets dot symmetric over here. Now horizontal. Now here we'll do dimensions dot width. We'll do 10. Let's save it. So it would create space left and right, which it did. And then we'll also do vertical over here. Now dimensions dot width. Now this time we'll get it half. Okay, now it's looking better than before. Okay, all right. And what else we can change over here? I think this section is also pretty much done. We don't have much or many places to change over here. Next, we need to change this place, and we'll change it actually a lot. Now that's been done inside this inkwell over here, inside this container. Now if you see the original design over here, we could actually do this one as well as then this one. So right now just one item over here, only one item over here, but we have to put this two items. So actually this is an image and the word. Okay, so we have to introduce a row instead of this, like this container. So over here we'll simply actually remove this section. We don't want it like this. So first we'll go ahead with row, and then we'll do children. Okay, now we're going to use an image over here. So we do image.asset. Okay, now the image is coming from our assets folder, assets image tracking.png, and there should be an image in your folder as well. Now let's do it like this first, and then we can apply the text over here right after it. So here we do track order, just this one, and then style, and we would also do roboto medium this time, and copy width, because we want to change the default properties. So font size. Okay, now font dimensions dot go ahead with this first, and color is we use a theme color of context dot primary color, so the one we have applied. Okay, yeah, so this is what we have over here, and it's pretty big. Now what we need to do here, we would apply size, and so that should be height 15, okay, and width 15. Let's go ahead and see. So it became much smaller. That's great. And I think we could also do a color over here. So that's what we'll do. So here we'll do color and the theme. So we're going to use primary color, the one that we have defined throughout the app. Okay. All right. So the color changed. So now they're too close together, so we'll be able to change that one as well. So here we do size box. Now here just simply width and dimensions dot width 10 by 2. Let's save it. Yeah, it's looking better, but now at the same time we also need to take care of the padding at the top and bottom. Now for this one, I think we can simply just copy this, and we insert this container. So let's save it there. Okay, so I strongly believe this looks much better than the one we had earlier. Okay, great. So now let's see what else we could do. Well, this part is same as this one, so not much things to change. Okay, and now we need to take care of this header. Now this header has some problems. Okay, so the problem is, let me show you. If we click on this, it goes back to this splash screen page, which is terrible. So we need to take care of that one as well. So let me restart the app. So anyway, now we'll come over here, and for this one, actually, we need to introduce a new widget. We do it actually over here, because this widget will be used throughout the app everywhere. But in future, actually, I will also change the folder structure. But for now, it's okay. Now here we will create like a custom button. Here we'll create a new one, a new customAppBar. Now we'll use it in several places. So we'll do customAppBar.dart. Okay. All right. Now over here, we're going to create a custom class, and we'll call it customAppBar. you can call it customAppBar, and we'll okay, so actually why don't I do like this? This is much better. customAppBar. Okay, and over here we don't want to return this widget. We want to just simply return AppBar. Yeah, great. And right after this, actually, as we want to reuse this, so we need to think what we are going to send from the color function. Now, the first thing, definitely, we are going to send a string, and we'll call it title. And we also want to, since we want to reuse it, so sometimes we want this back button, sometimes we don't want this back button. So sometimes just this text, we don't want the back button. So you also need to take care of this one. So here we'll create a bool, and we'll call is back button exist. Okay, back button exists or not. And then we also want to pass a function because you want to be able to click on this and go somewhere. So that's what we'll do. And here we'll simply do function and on back pressed. Okay, all right. And what else you want? Okay, for now we are good. As we work on this, we'll add more conditions later. Now, for string itself, the title is pretty required. I mean, we need always a title should be given. Now the back button is optional. So here we do this back button exists, but default is true. Okay. And over here, what else? This dot on pressed, this one is, yeah, we also need that, but it could be null. Okay, so there's a difference. Now this one, it is not null. If you don't pass anything, it will get a value. But over here, this one, if you don't pass a value, so definitely that will be seen as a null. So they're very different. You have to know that. Okay, if you have questions, leave a comment below, no problem. But now here, definitely title. Okay, now do you remember previously we have built big text, so that's what we want to pass over here. That takes text and simply will pass title over here. Okay, and color, so for now we'll text color colors.white. Okay, so that's what we want. Okay, great. And we want to center this one. Okay, so that's why we'll set center title true. We always want to center it. Okay, for now, in future we'll change that one. Now there is a button option which is called leading, actually leading. There's one not leading with. Okay, so for this one, so whether there is a button for this one or not. So we are going to check based on this one. So we'll take this one and put it here. If it is true, in default it is true, but it could be also false. You can pass false to it. So here we'll just simply go ahead and use icon button. Okay. Now we need to set the properties. Now, as I said that you may pass this value or you may not pass this value. So that's what we want to check over here. Okay. So how do you check? Here is like this. So we want to return an arrow function, and then we'll check on back pressed. Now, if it is not null, which means you have passed something, which means you have passed a function, okay? If it is not null, that means not null, actually this one. So here on back pressed, so we'll use whatever the function has been sent to it. I think we need a null checker, okay? All right. So whatever the function has been passed, we'll pass that one or use that function. Otherwise, over here we do a native function which is called navigator dot, I think push replacement. That's what we want. Push replacement with name, so we can pass this one. Okay, now it takes a context and a route name. Now, our route is initial. For now, we want to go back to home page, okay, which is when you click on this, you want to go to actually this page, okay. So that's what we are trying to do over here. So I'll collapse this so that you know what's happening. So what's happening here, we are checking if for button there is a value or not, but default value is true. If it is true, okay, now check there is an onPress function or not. If the function is null, then we'll use this one. If the function is not null, then whatever the function has been given, whatever that function does, we'll use that one. So as simple as that one. And now over here, we'll create an icon. Now the icon will be pretty simple. Here we'll do icons dot arrow back iOS. Arrow back iOS. Very classic icon. Okay. All right. And yeah. So now I think we are almost ready because we don't want this kind of button as well. So that's why we applied a bit of style over here. Okay. Now if we come over here. First thing, let's see what you need to do. So let's see, where is this? That should be, I think, order page. Is it here? Yeah. So this one. So first we'll remove this. We don't need this. And then over here, AppBar. For AppBar, we'll use customAppBar. customAppBar. Okay. All right. Now here, only required parameter is title. So now here we'll pass title and we'll call my orders. Okay. We'll call it my orders, and let's see. We do have an error. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm missing something. Let's read the error. Okay, so it's whatever it is saying over here. It's saying that you go ahead and implement this preferred size widget, which we did not. So we need to come over here, and here we just simply do implement. Okay, implement preferred size widget. This one. Okay, and I think we have to override a certain property if you do that. So yeah, so here we need to override a property. So over here we'll return a size, and here, okay, if you hover over on it, it wants width and height. So now let's go ahead, and now width, it just wants a number, just whatever number you can use. For mobile, it doesn't really matter. The one it matters over here is the height. Okay, and let's put a const modifier. Okay, now the error should be gone if we come over here. Now let's save it. Okay, and we do see that we have a bit of error over here. So I'll search error, and so it's over here. Okay, now we are missing a condition. So if the button exists, then we do this. If the button doesn't exist, what do? You also need to mention that one. Now we'll over here put empty sized box, so we don't do anything if the button doesn't exist. Okay, now as you see, it's there. Okay, now with this, it looks like we didn't have a lot of change, but it become more beautiful. You can do like this. Okay, you don't have to go back to this splash screen. Okay, so that's what beautiful about it. Now, yes, we can keep it like this, no problem. The only thing I think we want to change with this is the background color. Okay, so now we'll come over here and set the background color. So here we'll do background color, and colors. I think we can use our app color dot primary color. App colors dot main color actually. Alright, so that's what we wanted. Okay, now yeah, it's looking much better and more useful. As well as actually we can be like this. If you come over here, we see there is a flat, right? The cart history page. So we'll also have to do the same over here. Now for that one, we can just simply set elevation 0. Okay, all right, it's gone. So now with this, it became more powerful and not buggy. Previously it was buggy. Now this button became reusable, right? So we can just simply go to our profile section, and which is our account page over here, and this one we just simply be using over here this one. Okay, now we'll remove all this section, and then here we'll call app custom app bar, and here we need to send title, and we'll call it profile. Yeah. Now, previously this button also had a problem, I remember. Now you can go back to home screen. Now I'll cut this one, and I'll go back how it was before, and we'll see the difference. Now, if it is like this, okay, now let's come to this button, click on this. Yeah, so a lot of the problems have been solved, right? So now the app is much better looking and better working. Anyway, I'll restore it from scratch. Yeah, so this is our profile button. We can go back to home page. This is history, and we can also go back to home page. All right, now here there's a bit of space that we need to take care. Okay, as you see that here it's a little lower. So the idea is either we can increase it here or decrease it here. So I think I'll go ahead and increase it here by 5 pixels. That should do the job. Okay, now they should be pretty similar. Yeah, 53 works better. Okay, now yeah, so that's looking great. The next section we'll see how to show this loading icon. Now as you see over here, the load goes there, so we want to show a loading icon. Well, to be able to load the icon, actually we already worked on this, and I believe we have a custom loader button. Okay, all we need to do, go ahead and call this one, and we should be good to go. Now over here, this is an order view page, and you did see that we have a condition over here. Okay, if this condition is false, then we show the items, otherwise we show this one. Okay, now we'll just simply return the custom loader from here. Okay, so here we do custom loader, yeah, and that's it. Okay, so let's go ahead and check it out. Yeah, so now it was here, as you see. Okay, now we need to come over here and this address section. So there is also a problem with this. Now, if you click on this, definitely it'll go back to this icon. Okay, so over here, this loading splash screen. So we don't want that one. So for this reason, we're going to open this account page. No, that should be address page. But before that, let me go ahead and close this. We don't need these things right now. You're good. So for this one, let's come to our address page and add address. Okay, so first is this one. And once again, the problem was, I guess, here. So this one, right? And just simply replace this with custom app bar. Here we do title, and we'll just say address. Okay, all right, now let's come over here and check on this. Okay, we do see address, and now we go back to home page. Okay, we're focusing on the payment options. Well, this is my commercial app where I have this payment options. Okay, so I'm going to implement part of it in this tutorial. Most probably I won't have enough time to cover all of it, but in next part I will definitely try to cover. Okay, so this is what we want to build. Okay, but for now, if you take a look at our options, like if I have to go over here and if I'm coming over here, it's like that. So the first thing we have to have this button. So this is the button, and as you click on this, it shows up as a model. Okay, modal model. We want to build that one, but as you can see that this would be scrollable. You'll be able to scroll, and as well as you'd be able to select options, and over here like this, and you'd be save some notes. Okay, like for example, I don't like spicy food. Okay, or I don't want spicy, like that. So well, once you're done with this, the option would be still there, and it would be there. Okay, yeah, like that. So that's what we want to do in this section. So whatever you select, it will be there, and those information would be sent along with this checkout button. I mean, to the backend. But definitely, of course, if you select cash on delivery, so we don't want to show the PayPal button. Okay, so we just want to return after submitting the order, right? So that's what we want to do. Okay, so this is the basic layout that we want to build first, but it's actually a lot of work. It might look not that simple, but it is a lot of work. Anyway, so let's go ahead. Now, to be able to work with this, I'm going to close this one. We don't need this anymore. Now, I'm going to come over here, this cart page, and so this is where we want to put a new button. Now, this should be inside this GetBuilder right over here, right? Okay. Now we do have a container over here. We see that. Okay, so inside this container we have stuff like this, right? So this is a row, and this row is showing this stuff. Okay, great. Now what do we want to do? If you see this design over here, this one. So definitely the first thing we want to put this one and this one in a column layout. Okay, so that's the thing we want to do. So column layout. Now to be able to do that, first I'm going to copy all of this. Actually, I'm going to cut all of this. Okay, and right after this, I'm going to create a column, and then we'll have. Oh, I guess I have a typo. Okay, right. Now we'll put everything here. But one thing though, actually this section we don't need inside this anymore. Okay, so we can do the judge over here, judgment. All right. Now we should be good, but of course over here nothing is yet. Okay, but we can do a text payment options. Alright, so yes, we do see now it does have a bit of overflow issue, which we'll take care soon. Now we can just simply add a bit of height over here, and that should be gone. Okay, now we need this height, so don't worry about it because we need it anyway. We'll put the button. So here we want to put a button, not really a text, and in this case we are going to use inkwell. Okay, inkwell, this one. Okay. Now there are a few properties that we need to set. Well, one property is that the child option. Okay, so we'll do that one first, and child should be a container. Now over here we can assign it a width and then go ahead and double max finite. So whatever space available, it will take that one, and then here we'll do this child, and child should be a text. Now for the button itself, we want to pass this button. Now to be able to do that, where is this button? Let's check it out. Now we do have a button over here, actually not this one though. Okay, well, this is one actually I'm talking about. So we can reuse this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this and right over here, well, I'm going to go ahead one second inside this folder. And now here, common text button dart. So here we'll create a stateless class. Okay, and here we'll call it commonTextButton. Now, instead of returning this, we are going to return the text, the container itself, and then this. So in general, what we want with this, we want just to pass the text, and that's all we want to text send to it. Okay, so now for this reason, we need to come to this constructor right before it, and we'll create a string over here, and we'll call it text. And all we need to do, we need to grab this. Okay, require this does text. Okay, now over here, we'll just simply go ahead and do whatever the text has been passed, that one. Okay, now to make sure that it's working, so I'm going to remove this section over here. Okay, and right over here, we'll do common text button. Okay, and now here we'll pass text, and here we'll say check out. Okay, and now let's save it, but of course we will have an error because here we don't have anything. But as well as here we'll send this common text button as well, just a payment option. Okay, and the type should be the property name should be text. Okay, all right. Now, as you see, the problem kind of solved, but of course it created new problem. But we'll take care of that one. Now, take a look at this section first. Now, here we are inside this. Now, this big text, what do we want to do? We want to center it. Wherever it is, we want to center it. Okay. Now, let's save it. Yeah, it is centered, right? So that part is great. So now we need to take care of this overflow issue over here. Now, to be able to work with this, I think we can just simply come over here, and we do see that we have a lot of extra padding which we didn't need that, so we can just simply go ahead and change them. So instead of height 30, let's go ahead and do it 10. And over here it's the same. And yeah, it did solve the problem. And left and right, we don't need to change. Well, now we see they're too close to each other. Well, we can set a sized box over here, and that's fine as well. So let's go ahead and do that, and we'll do height, and then we'll do dimensions dot height 10. Hopefully it should solve the problem. Okay, now it came down a little bit. Great. And as you can see over here, we also have a bit of bluish box, a bluish box color, bluish. So over here we also have this bluish box shadow. So that's what we want to change, or we want to do. Now, to be able to work with this, we need to come to this button over here and apply the box shadow. Now, simply we'll go inside this, and over here we do box shadow, and it takes a list of box shadows. Now here we do box shadow, and we'll set offset, and offset 0.5. Okay, and blur radius we do 10, and let's go ahead and save it and see the result. Yeah, but of course that's not what we want. So here we change the color of this box shadow. So here we do colors dot main color dot with opacity 0.3. So now let's apply it, and okay, it looks just like the one we had seen before. Okay, great. So now these buttons are reusable, right? Okay, now we'll come over here inside this cart page, and here, let's see, maybe we can put, well, they want us to put sized box. I think it doesn't really matter. let's go ahead and do that. And they also want us to put a const modifier. Yeah, it looks cleaner. But now it does have an ontap event, so that's what we want to take care of right now. So here we will do ontap. Now, once we do ontap, actually once I click on this, I want to show the model. So in English, well, sorry, in Flutter, not in English, that's called showmodalBottomSheet. Okay. Now, as you see, it takes a container and a builder. So it takes a context and a builder. So we need to pass that. But now, by default, the context is there, so we don't need to worry about this. So we need to pass builder a function. We're not going to pass any parameters inside this, so we are good. Now all we need to do here, return container. Okay. Now here, let's see what's going on. So invalid const. So because we're using a function, so we can't use const anymore. Okay, and for now here we do height 500 and width say 200, and then you do color or color. Just go ahead with color, colors.red. Okay, great. Now let's go ahead and click on this and see, yes, it's working. Now if you click it outside, it goes away. Beautiful. So it's already working. So container itself is great, but we don't want a height like this or width like this. So for this one, we do height over here, and we'll get it from media query. Okay, dot of context. Now dot size, dot height 0.9. Okay, yeah. So it's pretty much the same. All right. Now over here, instead of this color, we want box decoration. Okay, so here we do decoration, box decoration. And inside this, we'll set color, colors.white. Now, why we want box decoration? Because as you saw earlier, that we want this border. So without box decoration, it's not possible. Now here we do border radius. Not box shadow, border radius, and box border radius dot only. So we just want to apply it to the top and left. So top left, and over here we do radius dot circular. Now here we do dimensions dot get or radius. Let's see. Let's go ahead with the radius 20, and over here we want to top right, and the radius dot circular. Here we want this dimensions dot radius 20. Okay, yeah. So now let's go ahead and save it, and you click on this. Of course, it's not visible, but if you pay attention closely, there is a little bit, but we'll also take care of that one. Now, right after this, inside this container, we want a child. So right after this, we'll have a child over here. And child will be a column, as I said earlier, because once again, all these things are in column, right? So that's why we need column. Now children. Now over here, first we'll have a container, and container. Okay, now a lot of things has been changed since we started working on this, but it looks like it didn't. Okay, and we do have an overflow issue. Okay, for now, let's remove it and just keep it there, no problem. And error should be gone. Now here's another thing. There is a property for showModalBottomSheet. The property is called background color. Okay, let's set up the background color. Colors.transparent. Okay, now let's go ahead and reload it. Okay, now you see this one. Okay, so there was the background color which was white. Okay, now on the top of the background we have applied this one over here, this container. Now that container has border radius, which is this one. So but the background container, whatever showmodalBottomSheet had, we made it transparent. Yeah. Okay, now right inside this column over here, we'll apply the container, set up a new container, and we'll do say height for now, say 520. Okay, and let's save it, and let's see how it looks. Now the reason is it is this error. That's because of course definitely part of it is overflow, but we want to control it dynamically. Okay, now to be able to do that, first we need to wrap this container using a single child scroll view. So we'll wrap it around a new widget and we'll call it single child scroll view. Okay, now single child scroll view should be inside an expanded widget. So now we'll wrap it around inside expanded widget. So let's go ahead and do that. And here we'll do expanded. Okay, but now expanded widget should be inside a column, otherwise you'll still get error. So I'm not going to show the error, but I know that it happens. So here we do widget and column, right? Okay, but now in that case, we need to move this expanded widget inside children, right? So here we'll just put what we had copied earlier. Children. Okay, now let's save it and let's close our app. Now close this error. Now let's try it. Yeah, the error is gone. Okay. Yeah. So the error is gone. Yeah, it's looking great. So now if you come inside this, it doesn't matter what you set, it's still great. Okay. Now here we are inside this container and we want to put a lot of children inside it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put another column over here, child, and then we'll do column, then let's children. Okay, all right. Now first, as we click on this, we want to see a button. Now the button should be like this. Okay, so what are you going to do? We are going to create a reusable button. All right. Now this button is not shareable, so it just works over here. So that's why I'm going to put it inside this widget over here, and I'll call it payment option button. Payment option button. Dot. Okay. Now definitely we'll create a stateless class for this. Now the first thing we want is a container. Now if you see that, so we have an icon, we have text, and this button. Okay, well, this tick button, but this is not always visible, it is sometimes visible based on the condition, right? Okay, so well, we need 4 of these things, and we can do that using a list tile. Okay, so here we'll apply list child. I guess we need to import some of the dependencies. Let's do it. Okay, so child, and here we do list tile. Okay, now list tile give us a lot of freedom. So the first one is leading. Okay, now over here it takes an icon. Now here we do icons dot say payment for now, whatever it is. Okay, doesn't matter. We'll change it later dynamically, and here we do size 40 and color. Okay. Now, for now, the color I will do theme dot of context dot disabled color. Okay, all right. So that's what we have now. Right now, we can go ahead and call it. Okay, so here we'll go ahead and call payment option button, and let's save it. Okay, let's open it. Yes, we see things like that. Great. All right, and after that, we want to set a title for it. Okay, so we do title, and then we'll have text over here, and payment title. Okay, and now here we'll do style, roboto medium, then dot copy width, and font size. So we want to take care of the font size over here. We want to use, say, dimensions, font 20. This is what we want to use. Let's save it. Yeah, it is there. So it is already visible. Now, next one we want to set is a subtitle. Okay, but this one, once again, a text, the safest way to pay. Don't worry, we're going to change this one dynamically very soon. So now here, roboto, we'll do regular. Now here we'll do copy width. Now font size. Now here we do dimensions, font 16. Go ahead with 16 first. And over here you might have more words, right? More letters. So you want to set max lines. Okay, sorry, it's not inside, it should be outside. So here we do max lines. We'll set 1. So whatever it is, so max line should be 1. So we'll do dot because we don't want to show too much. Now here, okay, let's go ahead and do it. Now, what if you want to pay more? I mean, since this is a subtitle, you can do more, right? Now, you see, this doesn't look good. So to be able to overcome this problem, here we can set up overflow, okay? And we'll do overflow, text overflow. Okay, so now here it looks better. But of course, for now, we don't want so much. We'll just go like this. Yeah, that works. And we also want to set up a color over here, and this time we still do this disabled color. So I'm going to copy this and put it here. Okay, yeah, a little changed. Great. So now with this we have done this section, but we have another thing, the icon over here. So we need to put the icon. Now icon we could put in trailing section. Now here we'll do icons dot maybe check circle, this one. Okay, all right, and color. Now here we'll do in color theme dot off context dot, actually we can get it from our primary color, and we are good to go. Yeah, it already looks great. Okay, now we want to make it dynamic. And how do you make it dynamic? We know it, and we have done it thousands of times already. So here we want to send an icon. So here we'll grab it as icon data, and then we'll call it icon, and then we'll have title, that would be string title, and then we'll have a final string subtitle. Okay, and final int index. Okay, all right, so yes, we'll set them up right over here, and required this dot index. Okay, and required this dot icon, required this dot title, required this dot subtitle. Well, it's not popping up. Title. Okay, I think I missed this one. Okay, now let's see. Okay, and some typos. Yeah. Okay, great. So now all we need to do, pass a different icon, and we should be good to go. And of course we see error because we need to pass them from here, right? Okay, great. Now the first one we want to send is an icon, say. Now let's see what icons we would be able to send in. Okay, well, over here we do have this, I guess that should be cash icon. So we'll send cash, or maybe money actually, icons.money, O-N-E-Y, money. I think this was it. And then title. Okay, so here we'll do cash on delivery. Okay, cash on delivery. Okay, and here we'll do subtitle. Okay, here we do you pay after getting the delivery. Okay, and the last one is index. Okay, so here we do index 0. And do we need to set const? Let's do that. Great. All right. Well, we will restart and the problem should be gone. Now if you come over here, go get over there, let's see. Yes. Okay. But this is still not dynamic, right? So we don't need this one. All we need to do, change the icon, right? So the first one is whatever the icon was there, just use that icon. The second one is title. The third one is subtitle. Okay, great. And yes, it already changed. Beautiful. Let's see. They want us to remove unnecessary icon. For now, we did that. Great, no problem. Or actually, I think we have to use box decoration. So we'll leave it. And now we'll also assign a box decoration over here. So we do border radius. Then we do circular. Now here we would do dimensions, radius, and we'll use a very little radius. So we'll divide it by 4, so that would give us 5. Now let's save it. But of course we don't see any changes, but soon we'll see. Now here we'll do color. So theme dot of context. Now this time we'll directly use, there is a color called card color, that one. Okay. Yeah. Now, well, we need to put margins, otherwise it is messing up with the border. We'll do that. And then we want to apply box shadow. So here we do box shadow. So here we do colors, gray. And blur radius, I set it to 5, and spread radius, set it to 1. Yes, it's already looking great, right? Now, if we are to come over here, we can just simply copy this and put it over here. And here we'll use a different icon. I think we could do PayPal icon, because since we have PayPal payment, PayPal outlined, actually this one, and digital payment. Okay, digital payment. Right here, safer and faster way. Safer and faster way. Payment. Okay, all right, now let's save this, and we'll already see that okay, I guess we need to restart. Yeah, we see 12 days, but now we need to apply some padding over here. So let's do padding edge. Oh, it's not doing it, so I'll type it manually and only over here. So here we do left and dimensions dot width. We'll go ahead with 20, and right we do the same, dimensions with 20, and we'll also do top in this case, and dimensions dot height 20. Now let's save it. Let's restart. Yeah, it's already looking great over here. All right. Now we also need a bit of spacing between these two. So to be able to do that, we'll come over here and right here, payment option button, and here we can apply a bit of padding. So we do padding, and we'd only do edges only at the bottom. Okay, bottom, and dimensions, height 2. Let's save it. Yeah. Okay, great. All right. Now we need to know how to make them dynamic, okay? Because right now they're all selected, so that's not what we want. Okay, so now we're going to make them dynamic. To be able to do that, we need to come to our controller, which is called OrderController, right inside this, and first at the top we'll declare a variable that should be int type variable. So you do int payment index. Okay, I guess we need capital. Payment index equals 0. This is the default one. Now we do a getter and we call it payment index. Okay, all right. And let's see. Well, we don't want to make it final because we'll have a method to set it. So now we'll declare a new method right at the bottom over here, and we'll call the method name is setPaymentIndex, and we'll get int index. Okay. Now over here we would do payment index equal whatever the index that's been given or passed. Then we'll update the UI. Okay, now this part is pretty good and pretty easy. Now over here we do have payment option. So this is the container. Now we want to wrap it around a widget, and we'll call it inkwell. Okay. Now over here we want to pass index and grab it on the ontap event. Okay. Now here first we would do int print, and now print index. Okay. So whatever the index that's been passed or clicked will show that one. Okay. Now let's save it. But of course go ahead and not this one. In our case, this is our app. All right, and now let's click on this. Yes, we see 0. Click on this, we see 0 again. Now that's the reason is because inside this payment option we are passing the same index. So first one is 1, 0, second one is 1. Okay. All right. So yeah, now let's click on this. We'll see 1. Okay. Okay, I think we need to restart. Now go ahead, that should be 1, there should be 0, 0, 1, 1. Okay, as you click on that. All right, so yeah, so that's the index being passed and being caught actually. So as you click on them, you can catch them, right? I think we still need to work on this distance. Let me do it right over here, another one. Sized box, height, dimensions. I guess we need to remove this options from here, and now just const modifier right in front of it. Okay, great. And now if we launch it, go ahead with 10. Yeah, so it's much better now. And at the same time, yeah, they're being clicked. So what do we want to do? We want to, whatever the index is being passed, so whenever you click, so you click on the first one, 0 is passed. You click on the second one, 1 is passed. So whatever that's been passed, we want to save that one. Now, to be able to do that, we need to wrap this one around GetBuilder, okay, because this button is reactive. So we'll do GetBuilder. Now GetBuilder comes from get package, so I'm going to import it first. All right. Now here we do GetBuilder. Okay. Now it takes a method, so as well as it takes what is it? A controller. Sorry. So here I need to type the OrderController. Okay. OrderController. Okay. So we are having OrderController type controller, and we'll create an instance from it. The instance name is OrderController. Okay, and as you can do it, now we'll just return and put over here our inkwell. Looks like I didn't copy that, but it is okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to, well, I think I need to do Control Z because I forgot to copy that. Copy my this one inkwell. Okay, so now I'm going to copy or even cut actually, and first I'll import it, get library, and after that I'll do GetBuilder, GetBuilder here, and here I'll create an instance of OrderController. And now here we'll have OrderController. Okay, now return this one. Okay, yes, we are great. Now, as you can do that, actually, we should be able to call the method OrderController dot set payment index. Okay, so now we'll be able to save it in the memory. Whatever you set, whatever the user said, you'll be able to save it in the memory. Okay, all right. So that's part of it, but actually there's another thing that we need to do. But anyway, so now let's come over here. Okay, well, of course we don't have any print method. All right. Now we want to show this blue icons just based on selection. Okay, not all of it. Whichever you click, you want to show that one. Okay, so for this reason, we need to create a bool over here, and we'll call it selected. Yeah, so we need to know what is being selected. So here we'll do OrderController dot payment index. This one called index. So whatever index is being passed, if this is a true, because this converts as a true or false, right? If this is true, then selected will be true. If this is not equal, then selected will be false, right? Okay, great. Okay, now we'll come over here. Actually, this icon color. So we want to change that one, or actually show and hide icon like this. So I'll cut this one, or I'll just yeah, I would cut this one, and then I'll use selected. Okay, so if selected true, then show the icon, otherwise show null, otherwise show nothing. Okay, all right, yeah. So now as you see, it's being changed right now, but we also want to change the icon over here, just like this. So to be able to do that, we need to come over here for this one. Okay, so we'll cut this one. So here when you select it, if selected, so the color will be app color dot primary color, or main color actually. Otherwise, we will be using the disabled color. So now with this, it's pretty becoming more colorful and dynamic. Okay, so it's becoming more dynamic. Okay, all right, great. Now, next part is this working on this delivery option. Now, so we'll be working from here as well. And now, as you see here, we do have radio buttons. Okay, so we need to create another stateless class, and let's see. So I think yeah, stateless class. Okay, so I think I do have error. So not error, actually it should be here inside this order, because this is not a widget actually, it's just a class, and this is also not reusable. Okay, so we'll just put it right here, and now we'll create a new one over here, and we'll say payment type. Okay, payment no payment, it should be delivery option, delivery option options.dart. Okay, great. So right inside this folder. So we'll create a stateless class first, and we'll call it delivery options. Okay, now here inside this, we don't want to return a container first. You gotta take a look at this one. Here they're in a row, right? So we don't need a container for that. So we'll just simply return a row, and then we'll have, okay, let me go, okay, children. Okay, great. And right after this, we want to create a radio button. Okay, radio. Yeah, just like this. Okay, and you have, it has some, well, I guess we need the library, we did, and the required argument unchanged, and the group value, and what else? Value. So these are the options that we have to have, and now it's because some of them are null, so that's why it's being cranky. So I'll put it like this, one by one. Okay. Now we want to grab a value and put it here. So here we'll grab the value, and that should be final string value, and required this dot value. Okay, now we'll simply pass the value here. Okay, so whatever is being clicked, we'll say pass that value to this radio button. Okay, all right, and we also want like this thing, so which is also like our title. So here we do final string title. Okay, and we also want to send an amount, so we do double amount. And we also want to create a bool variable, whether it is free or not. Because if it is take away, that's free. If it's home delivery, you have to pay a certain amount based on your total amount. Okay, so it's like 10%. If it's 12 RMB or $12, then you have to pay 10% as your delivery fee. But you can set it as you want. It doesn't really matter. Okay, all right. Let's see what else. Okay. Now here we do require this dot title, require this dot amount. Well, okay, we can also do required this dot is free. Actually, we don't need like this. Well, for now, order type, let's see. A group value, maybe we can do delivery, just hard coded, and this doesn't really matter, but here we can get the value as we click on them. So here we would do value. I guess I need to convert it to string, or value to string. We just want to print that. Yeah, that's all we want. Okay, so we would be able to click on this and print them. Okay, but as well as we want also this space, that word, things like that. Okay, now here we would do sized box and with dimensions dot width by 2. Okay, now here we do text. Now whatever title is being passed, we will use that one and we'll apply style to it, and here we do roboto regular. So we have the style and we'll have another sized box. Well, for this one actually we can just simply go ahead and copy this. Okay, great. And then we'll have this text over here. Okay, now we'll put it here, and we have to do a conditional check over here. Okay, so here let's check it first. Here, so we want to have a string, but inside the string we'll have variable, and this is why we're gonna do like this. Now here, so we'll check value equal take away or is free. If one of them is true, so then we'll say yeah, that's for free, so you don't need to pay anything. Okay, all right. Otherwise you have to pay certain amount. So the amount should be like this. So whatever the amount is sent over here, we take 10% from it. Okay, so here we do like this, amount by 10. Okay, but now inside this actually we want a dollar sign. So that's why we need this slash and the dollar sign. Okay, so hopefully it makes sense. Now, well, this one refers to this variable over here. Okay, this dollar sign, because we are using a variable inside a string. Now this is a string quotation, and I do guess that I need a second bracket over here. Yes, the error is gone. So whatever the amount is, so take away. So what's happening here, if it is same as take away, or somehow you set it to free for whatever the option of delivery it is, then we will show here as free. Okay, well, otherwise we will show this by 10%. Okay, now this can't be hard coded because we're gonna reuse this thing, reuse this widget. Okay, now for this reason, anyway, now we'll come over here and we'll copy this one first. We'll put it right below it, and we'll use height 20 this time. Now here we'll call the widget. So here we'll call it delivery options, Well, the first one is delivery. Okay, and so the value is delivery, but the title could be anything. So you can call it home delivery. And what is the amount? Now, amount amount should be coming from our cart controller. So here, let's see, we can access the cart controller. Definitely we can. So here we do get dot find, and now here we do cart controller. Okay, and then I think we do have something called total amount. If we don't have, okay, first I guess we need to import it. Did we import it? Yes, it's already imported. So anyway, I'm going to remove this, otherwise we'll have an error. Okay, and then this section, we're going to do it soon, but don't worry. So, but we need to set it. Okay, for now, just set it 10. And now here, if it is home delivery, then this should be set to false. Okay, and I'm going to copy this and put it here, right below it. And this time we'll say take away. And here, just simply take away. And for this one, since it is a take away, so it is free. All right, now let's save it and see how it looks. Now we are here, and that's what it looks. And we do also have to change some of the stuffs over here, and as well as the distance. But definitely this is way too big. So between these two, we just do 10. Okay, and over here we're gonna come down a little. Okay. So it came down more. Now we do have. Okay. At the same time, actually, you want to set up an option over here for text itself. So here we do text, and we'll call it delivery options, okay? Delivery options. Now here we need to set up the text size, style, we'll do that. Robot to medium, okay? All right. And then we'll copy this and put it here. Now let's work on this. Yeah, it's looking much better. But we need to put it over here, right? Now for this reason, because we are inside column, so we can do cross-axis alignment. Looks like it's not recognizing. So I'll collapse all of this, okay, and it didn't, so it doesn't matter. I do at the bottom, cross-axis and dot start. I'll close this, open it. Yes, we do see option like this, and which is more similar to this one. All right, I think the color shouldn't be different, but the reason is they're two different simulator. It's 11 Pro Max and iPhone 13. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to check on this too, and as well as this color. Now for this reason, I'll click on this. So we'll come over here, and over here just we'll simply apply a style. So here we'll do style, Roboto medium. I think we should be good with that. Yeah, okay, now it's better. And over here we can change the active color. Now active color should be theme color dot off context dot primary color, or our main color, it doesn't matter. So yes, yeah, it already changed. Okay, now this value is for now hard-coded, which we also have to change because this is hard-coded over here. This is not, well, I think this should be changed from here, but we are not changing it. So let's see. So take away home delivery. So I think if we are going to change these values, then it would be more reactive, but for now it's not. Okay, yeah, now it's not reactive and it's always there. So anyway, we need to change this thing. All right, to be able to do that, we need to come to OrderController once again, and here we need to create new method. So here we'll create a method, and it will be once again void type, and here it's a setDeliveryType. Okay, now here inside this we'll have a string, I think, string type, and then here we have to create a variable at the top, just like this one. So here we do string order type equal delivery, so that should be the default one. And then we can get a getter, so we do string get order type order type. Now we'll be able to change the value from here. Here we do order type equal type, so whatever you pass, and after that update the UI. Great. Yeah, with this we're good over here, but I think we still need to make changes here. Okay, so whatever the value is being passed, that is being set here, and we also want to set the group value. Okay, now before you set the group value, actually you need to make more changes over here. Okay, so here I think it should be taken as a string over here and value, and then after that here we want to wrap this around GetBuilder widget using Getx. So for this reason we need to import the get package, import get. Okay, now I'm going to cut this, then we do GetBuilder, and then here we'll create an instance of OrderController. The OrderController. Okay, now we'll just simply return what we had, and we also made it over here. Now we'll be able to access the method, which is setDeliveryOption. Okay, setDelivery. Okay, we need to access it like this, setDeliveryOption. So whatever the type or value has been given, we'll take that one. Okay, and what is being saved, that should be as group value, so it will change automatically. So here we'd call OrderController dot delivery, or let me see, what was the variable we created? Order type, actually. So we're coming over here, so here we'll call it order type dot order type, this one. It wants to make sure that you have the correct value. Okay, now if we come over here and let's see if we can change. We can change it like this. Great. So that's working. That's pretty good. Okay, now the other problem is actually over here. If you do see that here this value is hard-coded. So for delivery itself, we need to get the total amount, whatever is being done over here, or the total one, and based on that 10%. So over here it should be 6.8 because we have 68 RMB. Okay, so now for this reason we should go to our cart controller. Okay, so we'll go to cart controller. So let's find our cart controller. So this is the cart controller here. And we should, let's see if we have a method which is called total amount. Yes, we do have a method which is called a total amount. So hopefully we can use this one, total amount. Okay, now let's come over here. And inside this, we'll do get.find. Okay, and then we'll do cart controller, cart controller, cart controller. Okay, now here, well, we could do total amount, right? Total amount, but it is not being recognized. Why? Let's see. The reason is because here it returns int, okay, but we need to get it as a double, okay? Now for this reason, let's see. So let's see there, yeah, okay. Anyway, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this one, and here we do, let's see if we can get the method which is called double.parse. Okay, now we need to pass a string to it, so we'll convert it to string. Yes, great. All right, now if we were to come over here, we see that 6.8. Now if you increase it one more, so that should be, yeah. And then if you come to this section, add more, let's go to your cart, so 168, so that should be 16.8. So that's pretty much working, okay? All right, great. Next section, we'll see how to create the note options over here. Everyone, assalamu alaikum. So, well, now in this section, we'll see how to do this one, this note section, okay? Well, now definitely the first thing we want to do, we'll go ahead and create this text box over here, sorry, sized box. So first, let's go ahead and do that. Do sized box, and here we do height. Say for example we're going to get 20, okay, and then we'll get, and after that actually we want to get this text over here, and we'll put it here, and right now over here we'll write additional notes, additional notes, okay, yeah. So we'll save this, and if we were to come here, let's take a look. Yeah, so we do see that additional notes. But do remember that the fonts are same, but they're different simulators, so that's why their view could be a little bit different. Okay, but they are same. All right, because the one I'm using in my original project, and here they're exactly the same thing. Anyway, so now let's go ahead and check it over here. So here we need to pass a text field, but we know that we have text widget that is called AppText, I guess AppTextField, that one that we have built before. Okay, so it does take a few things. So hint text, icon, and things like that. Okay, and now for this one, first we need to go ahead and create a controller. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come at the top, and most probably at the very top, and so this is a stateless widget, and over here I'll create a text editing controller, which name should be note controller. Okay, now we'd come over here, and definitely the first thing I'm going to change is this one with note controller, and right over here the hint, actually we don't want to pass any hint, and I think we're good. And as well as over here the icon. Now here we do icons dot, what is that? I think there should be one called note. So this one. All right, now let's go ahead, save it, and see the result. Okay, now that may be okay for some of you. Well, now it is too small actually, so like over here it's a little big, as you can see. Okay, so now how to work with this one. Now to be able to work with this, you need to come to this section over here, and we'll set up a boolean over here. So here the bool name is max lines. Okay, and it will have a default value. So right after this max lines called false. Okay, so this is the default value for this. Let's see what's going on. Okay, yeah, so now that's the default value. Now this one to be able to work with, now over here we are going to set inside the text field, because text field has a value called max lines. So we want to set maximum number of lines. If max lines, the one we are sending, if it is true, then we'll have 3 lines, otherwise we'll have 1 line. Okay, now this is the default value, because do remember this app text field we are using throughout our app, so this is reusable, but we can trigger maximum lines based on this boolean, so whether we send it or not. Okay, so from here now would send max lines true. Okay, now let's save it. Come to our app over here. Okay, that's great. Okay, so here you can type things. Type what you want. Okay, all right. Now let's save it, and okay, so it's here, and we can also do like this. Okay, all right. Now if I'm going to leave this place, this page, now if you come over here, go to this options, now we do see that others they stay persistent, but this one goes away. Okay, now that is this problem. Now this mostly happens if you close it. Okay, so you most probably need to rewrite it. So that's one problem. Then how to take care of this problem? Now that problem mostly comes from this show model bottom sheet, this one. Okay, so that's because of this one the problem is happening. Now this has a function, actually a callback function. The callback function gets called when you close it. Okay, so here we can call that callback function, and this is called whenComplete. Okay, now it takes a function over here, so you could do whatever you like here. So when it gets completed, we can print things. Okay, now when it gets completed, most probably we could do noteController dot text. Okay, so when you close it, we want to set over here. Okay, now let's save it, and then I'm here, and okay, double suite. Okay, just a simple text. Now let's go ahead and check it. So double suite. Okay, all right. Now it is still there, but if you leave it, it might go away. So how to work with this section? Now we could set up a method in our order controller right over here. Okay, now before we set up, actually we need to declare some variables, just like this two we did. Okay, all right. So here we'll set up a string variable, string note. Okay, and default is none. Okay, empty. All right, we don't need anything. Even you can write here that you notes. Okay, like that. And then we do a getter over here, get note. Well, I think we need to make it private, so that's what we're going to do. So here, note. Okay, right, now we're going to set up a method right over here at the bottom, and as usual, this is be void type setFoodNote. Okay, so whatever you set over here, give me, I'll set it. Okay, and note, I call note. Okay, I think we could be more professional with this footnote. Okay, of course we need to change it, and then update UI. So I'm going to get at the top and rename that. I think this way it's better. Okay, great. Now, yeah. So this is the one that we're going to call for storing it. So it would be there, and even if you close it, it won't get away because it's still in the memory as long as the app is alive. Now we need to call it from our cart page over here. Well, now over here we need to replace this with the function that we just created over here. Now we need to access our food controller, but it does look like that we don't have any food controller over here. So yeah, we don't have any food controller. Here we don't have any instance of OrderController. Now one way to work with this is this BottomNavigationBar over here, make it reactive. So how to do that? So I'm going to cut this one, and then I'm going to do GetBuilder one more time, and then here I would do OrderController, and after that I think I need builder, and inside this I can have OrderController, and right after that we can just simply return like this, and let's see what's going on. Okay, great. And then we can just copy and paste it. Now with this we'll have two GetBuilder, and that's fine. Now we'll be able to access the instance of OrderController from here. So now this is the place where we want to access it. Actually, we need to remove all of it. So here we do OrderController dot setFoodNote. Now here we'll get the note controller, and then we'll get the text, and then we'll trim it. Okay, because we don't want any empty space. Okay, with this we are good. Okay, now let's restart our app and see what's going on, but those are some warnings and you can skip that. Okay, we'll just get over here. Okay, now we do, let's no spicy. Okay, well, let's save it. Yeah, okay, we'll see that it is there. Now if you come again once again, it's gone. Now it is still gone, right? Because part of the thing we didn't do it yet. So for this reason we need to come to this section GetBuilder where we were just now. It doesn't really matter. Okay, now at the top we could set up a variable. Okay, now it's not a variable, actually we're going to revoke or invoke our note controller, and then we'd set up the text part for it. And to be able to set up, we will get it from OrderController. And now here we know that we have footnote, right? Yeah, so whatever is there, you get that one and set to it. Okay, because you remember, once you close it, the footnote gets saved in this variable. Okay, so next time I'm going to interact with it, it will first get it from the footnote and set it to the text controller, and if it does, then over here, as you see inside this column, we are able to set it. Okay, right over here you see we are setting the text note controller. So note controller has the property of text, so At the top, we just set the property of text as we did over here. Okay, so hopefully it makes sense. Simple logic, because before you open it, you try to get what's in the memory. Okay, all right, so now let's go ahead and we'll see that if we have any error or not. So more sweet. Okay, now we'll save it. Now we'll come over here, and it does look like we do have a bit of issue. Now that issue could be this reason, most probably here. Now let's remove that, and now let's come over here and let's try to see that. Okay, the issue is gone, looks like, and let's edit it. Okay, all right, and it is still here. Okay, now let's go to this page over here and let's open it up, and it is still there. Perfect. Okay, so that was because we had this double this builder over here inside this cart page. So because builder 1, builder 2, so it was causing double update, so that's why you saw that error. So if you remove that, it should be gone. Okay, because I think the idea is it's inside already this one, and it automatically become reactive, so you might not need that update builder or the update method actually. Okay, well, yeah, so okay, this part is pretty good. Now we need to go to the section over here where we set the data to the backend. Okay, so this is the place where we set the data to the backend. We wrap everything inside this placeOrderBody, and then we send it to the backend. Now definitely this section we can change first now. Okay, we get it from our node controller, so which is coming from OrderController dot footnote. Yeah, this one. Okay, great. But what about the delivery options? Now if we are going to get to this placeOrderBody, I mean the method, like here we do have cache, right? We also have this delivery option, so we need to set up a few more things. So we need to set up the order type and the delivery option. Now as you come over here, we don't have the order type, so let's dive into it. So here we don't see the order type, we just have few sections, so we need to get 2 more fields over here to be able to send this new information to the back end. Assalamualaikum. So over here we need to have more fields. Actually, how many fields? Definitely we need this what we did just now, this note. We need, well, we already have a note, right? So we don't need to worry about it. We need to order type and or delivery type and payment option. So this is our order note. We already had it before. So right after it, here we'll add a string. So let string, and here we'll call it, say, delivery type. Okay, here actually I'm going to write it order type. The reason I'll explain later. String, here payment method. Okay, payment method. So these are the 2 new variables we have declared, and we need to get them here. So here we do require string. So we'll accept it as order type, and required string payment method. Okay, great. Now we need to assign the values here, whatever we receive. So here we do this dot order type equal order type, and this dot payment method equal payment method. Great. And we also need to change a little bit over here. Let's see. So we do have node, and this is from JSON, the one we get from the server, then we convert it to JSON, and then we convert it to object. Here we need to change over here because we are sending it to the server. Remember, when we send it to the server, we always convert it to JSON and then send it to the server. So here we do see that our order amount is here, so we would create new fields over here, and here we'll call it order type. Now, because in my backend database, this is actually the order type, so yeah, that's why I want to write it as order type, not really delivery type. Otherwise, I have to change the database, which I don't want. But changing the front end is much easier. And over here we'll have payment method, okay? And here we'll do this payment method. Now do remember that these fields, payment method. So in database, I have a field like order type. I'll show you the database. If you don't have, you'll create a field, it doesn't matter. And I'll also have a field named payment method, okay? So exactly. So do remember, these are going to be submitted into the database, so you can't really mismatch with that. But yes, you can play around with this kind of declarations over here. It doesn't matter because they're on the front end, okay? All right, but it's better to be same everywhere, okay? All right, anyway, so we are done in this section over here. Now we'll go back to this placeOrderBody, and it's a great thing. It's asking me to add this required argument, so which I'll do over here. For now it is empty, doesn't matter. And then I'm going to add order type as well. Of course, now we want them to be dynamic. We don't want them to be empty. Now for order payment method itself, so we can access OrderController. Let's see if we can. OrderController, yes. And from here, we can access payment method. Okay, payment index actually. A payment index is equals 0. Okay, then we assign over here a value to it. So we'll call it cash on delivery. Okay. So I want you to be exact same as this one, otherwise you might have error when you send it to the backend. Otherwise, here we'll have digital payment. Okay, do remember we have two options, right? Like if we come over here, we go to our so over here we do see that we have two options, right? So first one is home delivery. This is delivery options. I'm talking about cash on delivery. So this refers to the index 0. So that's why over here we are checking. If index is not 0, that means it's a digital payment. Okay, now if we are going to come over here, actually at the top, right? We believe it was over here somewhere, right? Oh, let me put a const in front of it, otherwise it's being cranky. Okay, so now here you see that we have delivery payment options. So the first index is 0, which refers to the cash on delivery, and the second one refers to digital payment. Okay, so that's how the index are being checked as you send this information to the backend. Okay, first you convert it to model, so as you do it you check on it. Okay, so payment index, because payment index is being saved in the memory as long as the app is alive. Now what about this one? Now for this one we can do same as just like last time. So over here we do delivery type. I think we have it's called order type, I guess. Yeah, the field was order type. If we are going to check it on the OrderController, yeah, it is actually order type, right? Yeah. Okay, great. So I think we don't need this one. Everything else we can keep for now because we might need them. So yes, with this actually, so we'll be able to send the information to the backend. Okay, so whatever is being selected. Okay, now actually we can go ahead and verify that this is working. Okay, So we just gonna print a method, okay? Sorry, print information. And let's see, okay, right after this actually we could do this one. So we just simply put this, okay, it still work, and we'll just simply return, okay? Yeah, we don't want to go back and call this repos for submitting in the backend, because we are not ready for that yet, but we are just going to confirm what we are doing, okay? So now, yes, that's great. So so here let's go back and add more items to it, to the cart. And okay, here we are. And let's see. So for now I'm selecting, okay, digital payment. And I'm also going to select takeaway. And then here I'll have a note. Okay, a little more salt, please. A little more salt, please, for bitter orange. Okay, all right. So now we're going to save on this, and let's see if we are getting over here successfully or not. Okay, well, it's asking me to save the address. Okay, well, let's save it. Okay, now we're going to come over here. Not here though, actually, to my cart page. Yeah. So we'll get over here, and let's see our value is still saved. And then I'm gonna check out. Okay, and here we printed this information. So let's find our order note. Okay, a little more salt, please. Okay, that worked. Now here is this thing. So here is my name and contact person, number, things like that. Now I believe it didn't print. The reason is it got cut off over here. Okay, so that's why it's not. But we also see that here we are able to print this one. Okay, now of course we could be very specific. Now here I think I could type something like this, order type. Okay, yeah, I could do that. And because we do have a field over here which is called in the JSON, which is called order type, and we also have a field payment method, right? So we can check on both, and let's submit it one more time, and we see what happens. Okay, let's put a string over here. My type is. Okay, now let's save it. And okay, so now let's check out the payment options. This is what we have, no problem. And now let's click on this checkout button. My type is takeaway. Perfect. Now if I'm going to change it, I'm going to change it to home delivery and check it. So here we'll see my type is delivery. Perfect. So it means that it's working. You can also do that one. So now with this, it means we are ready to send it to the backend. Okay. So we don't need this anymore. Great. All right. So now for the backend itself, you should be looking at some data. Now this is my backend, and this is our backend actually. So here inside HTTP folders, we do have this OrderController. Now you'll see that OrderController actually everything stays the same, nothing changes. Now here make sure that you do have this field order type. Okay, if you don't have, just go ahead and add this one. And this is what I was talking. This is being sent from Flutter front end. So this is being sent from here. This is the type, and we'll also have payment method that is being sent. So now over here payment method is this one. Okay, all right. And actually we are also checking it from here. So this is our payment method. And what else? So everything else stays the same. Now we should go back and we should go and check our database. Now in the database we should have these two fields. Now I'm inside our database, and this is the order table. And over here you will see that I do have over here payment method. The type is virtual 30, and default value is default nulls, and you can set it to null. And then we also have order note. Okay, so order note, the type is a text, and default is no. You can set it, I think, pretty much to anything, it doesn't matter. And what else? Yeah, so these are two types that we are sending. So here it's the order note, we have to save it, and here we do have order type as well. Okay, so this is a virtual like. So these three fields: order note, order type, and payment method, you have to create them. Okay, and after that you would be able to successfully send it to the backend, which we'll see now. So now we go ahead and do the test, and we'll submit an order. Anyway, so here, well, I have some items over here, so I'll get over there, and I have some items. As we see that we have this option, home delivery, takeaway, and digital payment, as well as the note. Now, and you can say more juice. Okay, just anything, that's fine, because I've already submitted, so I want to have a new data. All right, so I'm going to close this one. So now we're gonna check on this over here. Okay, and now we click on this, and let's see, it should be doing, because I'm on simulator and it's a little slow. So anyway, which I have said many times before, if you're going to use PayPal SDK, web SDK, then you should use CDN to make it faster. Okay, so here I'll log in, and we'll see that things go pretty smoothly. And then here I am. And okay, so it's done. It says back to home page. Okay, now what are we gonna do? We're gonna check over here. So here, this is my order column, orders table. So I'm going to reload everything. Okay, and I'll go to the last page because the latest one is saved at the end. So this is the latest order, and that's been paid as a PayPal, and payment has been confirmed. And over here we do see this one. This is the earlier one that I have tested, and this is the one that we see here, more juice, and the payment type is delivery, like that. Okay, so yeah, so it means that our information is working, and so this is 174. Anyway, so now we'll go ahead and do a test. So here we are, and I'll place an order, and we'll see the options here, and here I'll put a little note, more spice please, like that. Okay, and then we're gonna check out, and it's going to work. And it may take a bit of time to get loaded. Now we'll click on this. This is just log, so don't worry, I printed this log on my own, and I'm just keeping it there. So here I would put this one. I'll click accept, and I'll go ahead with next and password. All right, so it's pretty fast right now, and go ahead. All right, and we'll see it's done. All right, successful. Now if we come over here, because it's been confirmed, and this is the latest one, 167, and we also see that it is in our database, sorry, in our history list. And if we're going to check it, So this is our order table, this one, and I'm going to refresh it and we'll look for 176. So we'll go to the last page. Here we do see 176, PayPal confirmed, and more spice, type delivery. Okay, now we'll do one more test. This time, okay, I'm gonna come over here. So this is in my history list, and I'm going to add more items this time. Okay, so now I'll have total four items, but from 2 categories. Now over here, this time I'll select take away, and well, I'm going to select actually cash on delivery this time, and we'll see what happens, because just now, well, what was it? It was order type, payment method. Let's check the payment status just now, or payment method. Okay, so that was PayPal over here we see, but this time, well, it should be still PayPal even if this time, because we have some problem. Because even if you choose cash on delivery, when you choose cash on delivery, you should not go to PayPal payment. So it went, so that's why it was PayPal. Okay, but even if I select this one now, it is still be PayPal. Okay, so now this is an issue that we need to take care. Okay, but anyway, now this time we'll see that take away. Okay, and change the note, and so it's doesn't matter. Okay, let's go ahead and check out. Perfect. Now we see this is the one that we submitted, and if we come over here 177 and refresh my database, and this is 177, it's still PayPal. We have to take care of that one, and that's what it, and take away. So it's working great. Now one thing we want to do first, what is that we want to do over here? We need to check whether we are going to direct to this page or another page. Okay, now here we need to do a test. So we do if get.find. Now here we do orderController, and then here we do payment index. If it is 0, then it means cash on delivery. Otherwise we would go ahead with this one. Okay, so I'll just move it up. Oh, it went just too far. Well, if it didn't work, then I'll cut this and put it here. Now if it is cash on delivery, then we want to show the success page directly. Okay, payment success. We don't want to go to PayPal. Okay, now to be able to do that, we need to check our payment success page. Okay, so this is account, this is order. Okay, order success, I think. Order view. Okay, order success page, this one. That's what we're looking about. Now here, okay, we need to pass order ID and string. Okay, so that's what we need, and the status. Okay, so that's what we need to pass to it. Okay, now if we are going to look at this router, actually we'll see it's a little different. So if you come over here and route helper, and I think we don't need this buttons anymore. We also don't need this. Okay, so route helper, right? Now you do see that order success over here, order success page, it takes actually string and order ID, but when it really calls this page, which is this one, then it converts the string to an integer. So all we need to do, pass a string. It could be success, it could be fail. Okay, so that's what we want to do. So now here we'll just simply go ahead and do get.off named. Now here route helper. Now here we would do get order success page. Now the ID, now we can simply just copy this ID, whatever ID was here. Okay, it is already there. Now here we would send success. Okay, success, right. With this we are good. Now right now we'll go ahead and do a test. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's get over here. Now actually we can simply copy this one, and now over here we are selecting cash on delivery, which should be index 0, payment index, right? So we don't want to go to the PayPal payment page. And over here this time I'll just more spice, okay, because we still have to submit the order to the backend. So here I'm gonna click on this, and yeah, back home, you placed the order successfully. So we didn't go to PayPal page, so that means it's working. But now if we come to a database, now here is the database, so where you see this. Okay, now if you're going to check the last one, so here we see this is what we, now this is here cash on delivery instead of PayPal, so it changed automatically. Okay, so this is cash on delivery, and of course it's unpaid, so the payment is pending, that's fine. And what else? More spice and takeaway. Perfect. So it's working beautifully. So far we are done with this, and in this tutorial I'm gonna call it a day. So if you liked it, don't forget to subscribe and share it. Okay, hopefully next tutorial I would be able to take care of the map issue. A lot of you said there is an issue with map. Definitely I'll take a look, and after that in next tutorial I'll also try to cover notification, because now we are ready for notification, because as we can do the order successfully, now this is the time we'll go ahead and do the notification. I know that's been a long time and we're all waiting for that, but thanks for your support. Thank you so much.